Welcome to the Learning Support Service workshop. Today, the purpose of a speech is to persuade. So what is persuasion? Well, persuasive messages fill our environment. These can be found even on billboards that you would see on road, sales, pitches, also on debates, or even legal processings. The whole purpose of persuasion is the ability to communicate in a way that would motivate others to understand, accept your viewpoint, and to act on it. Persuasion is the hallmark of a strong leadership and communication. The purpose of persuasive speeches is to influence the thinking or behavior of the audience. So, for example, if I were to persuade you to come to the Learning Center and to seek out services, I would influence your thinking and behavior about the tutoring services. There are three types of persuasion: one, inspire; two, convince; and three, call to action. We'll talk more into detail about these three. So one, inspire. The goal is to create incitement in your audience about your topic or even reinforce their existing ideas and beliefs. Number two, convince. You want to try to convince or even change the audience's opinions. Persuade them to develop the same viewpoints you have. Number three, call to action. Your goal here is to motivate the audience to take some action. Even though these types of persuasion are three different things, they most often occur together in speeches. For example, if your goal is to persuade someone to use the tutoring services, you might want to start off by inspiring the audience to visit the tutoring service center or the website. Then you might want to convince them with the benefits of tutoring. And lastly, call to action for the person to sign up for tutoring. So how would you create a persuasive speech? Persuasive speech differs from other speeches, hence it has its own steps. Number one, you have to know your topic. Consider all your goals and interests and knowledge, something that you are confident in. Research the topic thoroughly and look at the different perspectives, the pros, the cons, the benefits, the non-benefits. Research it thoroughly. Number two, know your audience. Consider your listeners and their attitudes and beliefs about your subject. Not everyone would understand your point of view. An audience may agree with your opinions. You would also have an audience that may not be interested in your subject. Another type of audience that you would have is an audience that is opposed to your viewpoint. And it may take some effort to persuade them. Another type of audience is an audience that is unfamiliar with your subject. They may know nothing about the topic. You may want to educate them on your topic. And lastly, you may have a combination of people with all different types of viewpoints on your specific topic. So tailor your message to them. Once you know your audience, there's three modes of persuasion. Create your speech: ethics, logic, and emotion. The ethics is the credibility as a speaker. Have the audience accept you as knowledgeable and trustworthy before changing their opinions. Use references as in your research. You may even include personal experiences when dealing with a similar issue or topics that support your subject. Logic, this includes making sense of the argument. Does it make sense? Is it clear? Include components that address the audience's logical mind. Be sure to explain that the subject is clear and concise when they need to change their opinions on their behavior. This goes well with providing evidence and support to your position. Use research to make your argument stronger. Lastly, emotion. Evoke the feelings and emotions to the audience. The use of emotions contributes to a powerful influence when you want the audience to listen and relate. For example, the nervousness, anxiety when coming in the tutoring center for the first time. Many of people would experience the same issue, so relate to them on the subject. Fourth is to organize your speech. Articulate the goals of your speech. What are the goals? What are your objectives for the persuasive speech? Combine your knowledge and your use of your topic with the three modes of persuasion that we talked about earlier: ethics, logic, and emotions. Say your arguments and counter arguments. This is where you would be writing about the pros and cons of your topic, your benefits and non-benefits, to get a different viewpoint on both sides. Lastly, number 5 is to close your speech. Summarize all your points and remember to call the audience to take action. Remember that public speaking, you got it covered.